Welcome to the Journal of Who Cares. Because the answer is like probably no one right now, maybe ever. I don't know. We'll see. This is just sort of like a summary of my week. It's like a way for me to set tasks that I want to do, but then at the same time, like hold myself to those standards and like review it and stuff like that. It's the equivalent of like a stand-up if you've ever worked in like production, stuff like that, except it's just myself and I'm the only one holding myself to it. But also everything is content, and I kind of just, you know, I want to have it down on paper, so to speak. And I don't know, you know, like as things goes on, these might become more and more interesting as things progress. But we're gonna jump into it. What have I done this week? Okay, so first week of 2022 honestly was off to a slow start. After New Year's Eve, I was very hungover. But it wasn't really just that. Honestly, it took me like a couple days to get into the swing of things. And I think that's because it's kind of like this obstacle paralysis that I'm sure like a lot of people can like relate to, where obviously a lot of my income is supplemented by things I don't really want to be doing. Surprise, surprise, the 5 subscribers to this channel are not paying my bills. My 150 followers on TikTok are not paying my bills, right? So while I'm pursuing, you know, ventures that are creative in nature, income has to be supplemented. And I'm in a situation right now where I'm mostly relying on like gig economy stuff, you know what I mean? So there's not a lot of enthusiasm when it comes time to get off my computer, stop editing, stop shooting, stop writing, whatever it is, and sit down and actually like have to go and make money. So I'm just like sitting in bed thinking, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. But I mean, you know, that aside though, once I actually got up and going, you know, it's kind of like, it's the laws of physics. Like a body at rest stays at rest, a body in motion stays in motion. Once you actually get up and start doing it and like getting into it, it becomes easier to stay motivated and keep going. And it goes in waves, you know, but the rest of the week was incredibly productive. So when I actually did sit down and get started on the important work, I have a main goal for right now. I have 2 main goals, but the biggest thing, they're related. So the biggest crux of what I need to do is finish this video that I shot back in September, actually. So last year I came into possession of a pretty great film grade camera. I have an Arri Alexa Mini, which, if you don't know, it's like a professional grade camera. Like, you shoot movies on this. Like, the Joker was shot on this, the Irishman was shot on this. It's like, it's an actual movie camera. And at the time I was doing a lot of contract work and stuff like that, so commercials, music videos, stuff like that. And it was this camera I was renting a lot anyway, so it was like, hey, I'll just throw that money that's allocated in the budget from the rental into, like, you know, actually purchasing it, and then I'll start paying down the you know, the loan on the camera, right? But an added benefit of having access to equipment like this is I can use it to shoot my own stuff, and I don't have to pay a rental fee because I own it, right? So after I finished out the contracts and stuff that I had to do, I got to work writing some shorts, because what I really want is to focus on writing, acting, and down the road, like, get back into games, like game design, stuff like that. But as far as like film and everything like that goes, I'm primarily only concerned with writing and acting, to be honest. I'm a good producer. I don't really enjoy producing, and I wouldn't be opposed to directing, but it's never something that I like wanted to do. Like, as far as film directing goes, it was never something that like I had an ambition to do. I want to direct games, really. So I wrote a comedy short because I think writing comedy is way easier than writing drama. People will disagree on this, but comedy just comes more naturally to me. I think drama just takes me longer to develop. And I'm a really fast writer, actually. When I have an idea and it's already like in my head, I can just put it down on paper like it already existed. I'm just copying it over. If I don't have as defined of a idea, it takes me a little bit longer to develop. But like once it's in my head, I can just write it down. So I had this idea and I had it all in my head at once. Like when it came to me, I was like, oh, that's perfect, actually. Let me just go ahead and get this down on paper. And it took me 15 minutes to write the whole thing. And like after the first draft, I was like, this is it. It's minor changes after that. Like, this is ready to go. And so I started doing the pre-production and setting everything up to get the shot. My co-star was an amazing and talented friend of mine, and the whole thing was designed to be shot on like a simple budget. We used her place, we used props that we already had. The whole thing was designed to be written like it's just a dialogue between 2 people, so we don't need any other actors and things like that. It was written to be simple, shot simple. It ended up taking like 2 days to shoot, but we had it done in September. But then after that, like, I just had no time to edit this video, because it's not like editing one of these. It's like, it's a short film essentially, and it's shot on like way better footage and there's sound stuff. It's not like just editing a YouTube video. I wanted to put a lot more work into this and I just didn't have the time. But it is important that I get this out and get this going because like this will be a portfolio piece for me to show off that I can write, that I can act. It's a very valuable piece as far as me booking work, right? So I have been going insane trying to get this edited because I'm not an editor by trade. Like I don't like it. I do it out of necessity. And it's like one of those things. It's like I can learn how to edit and I have to an extent, but I'm not a career editor and I don't want to be a career editor, right? Like I don't want to spend 200 hours diving through tutorials for Final Cut to figure out how to be a master editor. Like that's not in line with my primary goals. And there's a million things you can learn in this world, right? I don't have time to learn all those, and I rather focus on the things that I really want to do that are directly related to my career path. But in the moment that I'm at right now, I have to be an editor by necessity. So there's so much stuff I have to learn of this, and like I'm starting to learn like color grading and audio editing, and all of it is a nightmare for me. But it starts with even just getting the clips down on the timeline, and it's for me it's takes so long because this YouTube video is just a single shot and then I cut out the parts where I stutter or whatever, and I don't like do a second take really. Like if I mess up a line I just pause and I say it again and I cut out the part in the middle. Like it's a very simple edit and it's YouTube, it's supposed to be. But for this it's like obviously there's multiple takes or multiple angles, and so like I mean anyone who's ever edited stuff like I obviously know what I'm talking about, but like I have to go through all the different takes and I have to find the ones that work. And then the most annoying thing, something I just didn't think about whatsoever, is let's say I like a take from one angle and then I want to cut to a wide, but if my hand is in a like jarringly different position just because like I'm talking with my hands or like something like that, it's such a noticeable cut that it looks really sloppy. And so finding places to cut that keep the jokes and the takes and the deliveries that I want while also matching continuity is the most frustrating thing in the world. And so I don't know how long this edit's gonna take. I don't know how long the final video is gonna end up being. Right now I've got about 2 minutes of it edited, which like when we shot it, none of us thought to run slate, which means like audio and video record separately. So like you clap and like to help sync the audio and stuff. But like if you're doing something with that many takes, that's what that clapper thing that they use in the movies. Like that is to denote the scene and the take. And so we didn't think to do that because we normally shoot music videos, and it took me like 10 hours just to sync all the clips to the audio and figure out which clips goes to which audio. Look, I learned a lot from this process, but this is this has been a pain in my ass and it's the primary thing I have to get done. So I've been working on that a lot this week, and I mean I need to get that done so I can finish my website, so I can have a complete online resume, a living portfolio of my work, so that I can send it out and I can book more paid work. Because while I enjoy independent content creation, I don't love the other gigs I have to do to make money. And so the goal is to get a job in my actual field, which is frankly a problem I've always had in LA. I have college degrees, I have like experience, I have all this stuff, but it is hard to get a job, especially in entertainment, even if you're qualified. And so the only thing you can do is just keep making more work until someone's like, I guess you've done enough on your own where I can trust you with a job. Or in a lot of cases, just know somebody. But regardless, that's the primary thing that I've been focusing on this week. I'm also incredibly proud of game history. So I do a podcast called Film History, the History of Film. And usually I'm just like, I'm a guest host on that. So I come in cold to the film topic that we're doing and we discuss it. Inspired by this, and also just in a way to create more content for the podcast and potentially like Patreon stuff and things like that, I decided I could commit to once a month writing a game history episode. So the first episode, I wrote it, we shot it, and it came out. It was the first episode we released in January. I'm going to have one more up before the end of January, and then going on forward, there'll be a game history at the end of every month. Probably they'll be locked behind our Patreon, but for this first one at least, we want it up for everybody. It was incredibly fun to write. I did it on John Romero and Daikatana and Ion Storm and that whole thing, and it's a fascinating story. It really is. Like, it's a fascinating piece of game history. So that released, and it's getting good responses, and so check it out. I would love to hear any opinions on it, and like I love doing the podcast, and it's a big goal for this year is get that podcast to a profitable state. Honestly, we have great numbers out the gate for the 6 months we've been doing it, but these things just take time to build, and we are making money off of it, actually. We do have sponsors already. We are running ads, but, you know, it's obviously not, paying everyone's rent. There's 3 of us to do the podcast. Like, it has a lot to go before it is, a reliable source of income. Then the last big exciting thing that I did this week was I've been shooting a movie with some friends for 2 years now. Basically, after Corona started and everything started to loosen up like a little bit, we were like, how can we shoot a movie with these COVID restrictions? And we decided that we were just going to do it over the long course of however long it takes, small scenes of just a couple people that get tested and everything to make sure we're safe. And we've been shooting it for 2 years, and my buddy wrote it, and he's directing it and everything, and I'm producing on it a little bit, as far as like maybe acquiring like locations and things like that, but primarily I'm acting in it, which is wonderful, and I've had a blast doing it. I play one of the lead villains in the film, and it's been so much fun to shoot, and we are finally getting to a place where it's almost done, actually. So we only have a couple scenes left to shoot, and so we shot one of those on Friday, and I have some stills and stuff from it, but I'm excited. That's probably going to come out over the summer, so that'll be the first feature-length film that I have acted in, as far as like not just being an extra or something like that. There's gonna be like a red carpet and stuff. I'm excited. It's one of the things I've had the most fun with over the last 2 years. Other than that, I've been trying to stay consistent with my TikTok. The YouTube videos have been going up on Earth 2. Luckily, I have that stockpile of old videos, but those are quickly running out. So but so far, week 1, consistent of content. I'm happy with where my TikTok's at right now. I've been gaining followers at a pretty steady rate, and the bell curve has been going up. So I've seen consistent growth. I'm having fun with the videos I'm putting out, but I definitely need to be doing more. So we'll talk about that in the next section. I really got back in the swing of the gym. It's always hardest the first couple days that you're back to get into it, but once you get into the swing of things, you start like craving the gym. It's great. I love being in that space where I want to go to the gym every day, and I'm getting back into that now after taking time off for the holidays and stuff. And lastly, I'm planning out like some stuff for the Raging 20s brand. It's my clothing brand that I want to do. I need to shoot some commercials. I got to do some stills. I got like promote that and market it. But I'll tell you what, like, it is so hard to do all these things, but especially like running an apparel company, like starting an apparel company. There was so much more to it than I originally thought, like as far as red tape with the government and permits and taxes and stores and distribution and everything. And I'm doing all of it on my own. It's a slow burn, but it is a brand that I am enthusiastic about building. And I think over the course of this decade, really, like I have a 10-year plan for this. Beyond that as well, but like I have a 10-year roadmap for this throughout the 20s. And it doesn't need to be a thing tomorrow, but it is something I need to start chipping away at because I didn't get as much done with it in 2021 as I wanted to. All right, so that wraps up this week. It was productive, but like a lot of things are just in progress and there's not a whole lot of things done yet. So it's gonna be great when those finish up, but now I want to talk about the things I want to do this upcoming week. I've got to get this video finished and edited. It's going to be a long haul. I still have a lot to do on the video. Then I got to do a color pass. Then I got to do a sound pass. It is going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, honestly, even to get it done in the next 7 days, because I have to do other stuff too. It's not like I can just sit down and do that 8 to 10 hours a day, but that has to get done. And then I'm hoping if I can get that done in the next 5 days, I can take the last 2 days of the week and finish up the website and really be ready halfway through January to start applying for like jobs that I'm qualified to do, that are going to be more consistent income. It's going to be more in line with my career goals. We're recording Film History tomorrow. We record at least 1 episode a week, so that's consistent every Wednesday. You can check the RSS feed. New Film History is going to be going up. The next episode we're doing is on Ocean's 11. Depending on when I get this video edited, it might be up already. We're also having a production meeting tomorrow about implementing marketing strategies. Like, that's the biggest thing. What sucks about everything is it's not I'm a content dude. Like, I'm a creative. Like, I enjoy the act of making the thing. When it comes to promoting the thing or getting people to watch the thing or like making things profitable, like that's not my strong suit. I don't enjoy that. And so it's tough to sit down and get those things done, but they're important because it's the only way any of this is ever going to become like, pay for itself. You know what I mean? Luckily on this though, I have a team of people. It's not just myself. It's been nice and refreshing because everyone involved is equally enthusiastic about making sure that their deliverables come in on time. And so the division of labor is excellent. And I think between the 3 of us, we can tweet. You know what I mean? I want to start diversifying my TikTok content. I've been doing Game of the Days and Smash or Passes for a while, but one, I'm running out of ideas for both those things, and two, it's been the same thing for a long time, and it's helped grow the following, but I want to expand to different type of stuff. And I always wanted to do more skit type stuff on TikTok. I didn't originally plan to do this type of content, but this type of content is easy to produce every day and it doesn't require me to like write stuff, but I do want to start doing more creative written things on it. So an idea that I have actually is like to have two game characters like talk to each other, because I've kind of built myself into this game niche, at least for right now, and if I want to transition doing more comedy stuff and more skit based things and stuff like that, I think I should segue to that through the lens of games. And so I was thinking maybe like game characters, conversations game characters could have or must have had or something like that. There's infinite content you can make of that, but I just got to come up with it and stuff. My buddy had one idea that I'm going to try and expand on. It's like, what if Nathan Drake went to a therapist about all the people he's murdered and like comes to terms with the mass murder he commits in every game. I think there's something funny there. I'm gonna try and make that the first one. I need to shoot the first episode of the Crypto Chronicles. So basically, like, I've been learning crypto, I've been learning NFT stuff, I've been investing in those to a degree, and I kind of want to chronicle my learning process of that and like making my way through it and stuff. And it's something I'm interested in, and anything I'm interested in, I might as well just throw on camera. So I kind of want to go through that and document it, and hopefully like along the way it'll start a dialogue where people can be like, oh, actually, hey, you should check out this crypto, or like this NFT project is something you should look into. And so it kind of becomes like a collaborative way for everyone to make money, instead of me just, figuring it out on my own. In that same vein, I need to shoot more Earth 2 videos. So all the Earth 2 videos that are going up right now were shot like January of last year, actually, like literally a year ago. And I wanted to release those because I had them and it's relevant still. But I have been out of the loop on Earth 2 updates for like a year. So I have to educate myself everything they've added, which is a lot. And I need to shoot more of those and edit those, and those need to go up. I want to just kind of get my old content out. So there's been a video up every day, but I only have like 2 left. And so I'm gonna have to shoot more of those, but I don't think I'll be able to continue to post one a day. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to create that much content per week on top of all the other stuff I'm doing, but I would like for at least 2 Earth 2 videos to go up per week. My ideal setup is one of these vlogs comes out a week, 2 Earth 2 videos, a Crypto Chronicles, and 1 skit. There could be other stuff in there as well, but that is ideally what I would like the week to be like for YouTube going forward, for the foreseeable future, which is a lot of content to produce on top of all the other things I'm doing. I realize that this is nearly impossible considering none of this is paying me yet, but I gotta try. And we set high goals so that even if we miss, we're still getting a lot done. But that is the ideal scenario for the content on this channel. Speaking of skits, I need to write some skits. I have one that needs to be edited that I shot when I was visiting my parents, and I have one that's old from an old channel that I'm gonna re-upload. So I have to write more to shoot more, and they don't need to be long, complicated, or super well produced. Like, they're going to be very much skits. I am going to do more like professionally shot short film type stuff on the Arri Alexa, but those are going to be maybe once a month. I'm also wondering if I should start using the Arri Alexa to shoot like everything. It's not as simple as just throwing on a camera like that you would normally think of. It takes like a lot of people to run it. It's a lot more complicated, and the file sizes are huge, so those cards run out really quick. I don't think it's feasible for most content, and I think it would drag production down so much, but I might give it a shot one of these days. The problem is, if I shoot one of these vlog things on the Arri Alexa and it looks, like a movie, can I go back to just shooting this on my regular camcorder or like my phone? I don't know. I've been pretty good with my social media as far as TikTok and YouTube, but I need to start posting consistently on Instagram, and I need to start tweeting more, which I started tweeting a little bit about that new Weekend album, which we'll talk about in just a sec. I got to fill out the Raging 20s quarterly tax paperwork and continue to work on that stuff, setting up commercials and photo shoots and stuff, just to start getting promotional material prepped for that so that I can start actually pushing the brand. And just stay consistent with the gym. I throw this into work because it is related. Like, I need to be in shape to book roles, to, book photo shoots, things of that nature. And also, I want to get functionally fit as well. And so money's tight right now, so I can't implement this right away, but my ideal gym schedule would be as follows. Every day in the morning, I do a regular workout. Like I keep up with the workout. That's weightlifting, that's cardio. Then in the evenings, I superset that with an additional workout. So Monday, that would be rock climbing. Tuesday, that would be boxing, and I don't need to go to like a boxing gym. I'd put some gloves on, go to LA Fitness, hit the bag. Wednesday would be parkour, because I actually used to do parkour a lot when I was younger. I want to get back into it. I want to get my movements down again, and there is a parkour gym. And the free gym is pretty cheap, but I'd like to get a membership so I can actually take classes and like get actually professionally trained instead of just teaching myself like I was doing before. Thursday, we're back punching the bag for boxing. And then Friday, we end off with another rock climbing session. Adding up all those memberships and stuff costs, and I ran the numbers, more money than I have. So this isn't going to start up right away, but it is ideally where I want to get to in relatively soon. But what I can do right now is just stay consistent with my regular workouts, go to the gym, and stay in shape there. And then maybe every once in a while, maybe once a week, I can go to the open gym at the parkour gym. Once I like get my flips down and stuff, like I'll make cool parkour videos too. Why not? And this is something I want to do for myself. Like I want to be more fit. I want to be in better shape. I want to be able to perform these athletic feats. But also, it opens up more acting opportunities, stunt work, so many things. Like, you throw on additional skills like rock climbing, parkour, or boxing, and the amount of roles that you can qualify for, it just, like, opens up dramatically. My, like, main goal with acting has always been to be Wolverine, the MCU Wolverine. Like, that's what I want. That's what I've wanted for, like, a decade. And so, I only get one shot at making that happen. And the better shape I'm in, the better, I can do stunts, the better I can do some acrobatics, the better I'll be. I know it's a pipe dream, but all dreams should be pipe dreams. Otherwise, you're not dreaming big enough. All right, and I just want to end these with, like, what my life has been like this week, like, just personal stuff. I kind of just want to, keep up documentation of, like, what I was doing, what's happening in the world of pop culture, because I'm very connected with everything that's going on. So Dawn FM by The Weeknd came out. I had no idea this was coming out. Like, I did not know that The Weeknd was dropping an album. I know he announced a while ago. It wasn't like a shadow drop, but it feels like this album had like no rollout. So to me, it was like a surprise album. I just got a notification from Spotify and was like, oh wow, it dropped like an hour ago. So I listened to it like, the night it came out, Thursday night. It's really good. I like it a lot. It's a particular vibe. It's a late night listen. It's a I'm in my emotions type of listen. I'm not going to be putting on tracks just while I'm driving in traffic or whatever or anything like that. And so I am a little bit conflicted in that degree. My favorite era of The Weeknd was Starboy. I love just the way that was hit. I love trap aesthetic combined with this really smooth voice. And it had a balance of like hip hop and pop and stuff like that in R&B. Dawn FM is the direction he's been moving in for a while. Like, this isn't necessarily a surprising turn, but it is fully committed to that aesthetic. There's really no hip hop to speak of on this. It's kind of like this 80s neon synth kind of thing. So, and I said this on my Twitter, I said I hope that this is kind of like his 808s and Heartbreaks. And what I mean by that is like Kanye put out 808s and Heartbreaks, and it was like a different album from him, but it wasn't the direction that he went in for the rest of his career. Obviously, he'll always take elements from that, and that album inspired so much of modern music, but it wasn't like this sets the template for the music I'm going to create going forward. Now, Kanye is especially unique because each album is kind of completely different, especially at this point, but I do hope that this is that for The Weeknd. Like, he wanted to do this one-off type of thing, but the next one we get will have some more hip-hop influences and stuff like that in there as well. I also said this on my Twitter, I would really like Drake to do an experimental album. He's been consistently putting out great music for a while. I mean, Views is still like one of my favorite albums ever. He's mastered that sound and that aesthetic and everything, but that's why I would love just to see him try something weird, and I think he can afford to put out a strange project right now, you know what I mean? Also, again, I'm just pulling from Twitter. That Post Malone and Weeknd song was really good. I would love for them to do a project together. Other than that, I've been jazzed about the PlayStation VR 2 announcement. It's got me thinking. I love VR. I love VR, and it's got me thinking about like all the games we could get and theorizing about what PSVR 2 could be in a PlayStation metaverse, and I'll make a whole video about the PlayStation metaverse. I'm obsessed with this idea. And so that's exciting, and I need to dust off my PlayStation VR, and I need to spend a night just in the VR world. And I have so many games in my backlog and VR games I want to play. Oh, which leads me to like the last thing. I've actually been playing video games this week, which like obviously, but for me that's actually a big deal because in 2021 I didn't play nearly as many games as I was used to playing. I was so busy between social things and creating content and making money and getting everything set up. I just didn't have as much time for games, and I want to find a better balance of that this year. I want to play more games. It's part of my DNA, it's part of my soul, and it hurt to not play games last year. Like seriously, I probably the whole year probably put in like 20-25 hours, which for me is absolutely nothing. Like I'm usually like 500 hours a year at least, which those aren't even super crazy numbers if you think about it. But I actually have been playing games. I've been playing the new Ratchet & Clank on the PS5. I love it. Maquette on the PlayStation 5 was a PlayStation Plus game. That one's a short one. I know I can knock that out. I want to get into this rhythm of doing like, I'm playing like a main AAA game, and then I got like a short indie that I'm burning through as well. Before I left for Christmas, I actually started playing Ken and Bridge of Spirits. I really want to get back into that and finish that. I don't think it's too long. I think I'm about halfway through it. And then I need to finish Ghost of Tsushima. I'm only about halfway through that game. I put 50 hours in back in 2020, and then I need to take a break. But I just got the PS5 upgrade plus the DLC, so I want to like burn through that. I also just finally bought the Final Fantasy VII DLC, so I need to play that because that was like one of my favorite games of the whole entire last generation. And then I have got to get to this Horizon DLC. It came out years ago, but I just never played it. But Horizon 2 is coming out next month, and I want to play that on release. Like I want to play that at midnight. Like I want to be on the pulse of that one. So all in all, like that list right there is a lot more games than I even played last year, and I really want to get back into like doing the thing that inspired me to get into entertainment in the first place. And you know, it's all about balance. Like I can take an hour here and play for a little bit and just do a level, and not every session has to be like this 8-hour binge. I love doing those, but I don't have time for that right now, and I have to find ways to make what I love to do in my free time work with the schedule I have. So that is my week. Hopefully this isn't too long. Again, I don't know that anyone cares right now. I don't know that anyone cares ever, but I like putting my thoughts, formulating them, having this list, checking in with myself next week, seeing what I got done, clearly stating out the goals that I want to do, talking through how I want to get them done, why it's important, what's important, and also cataloging what I do each week. And so I can look back, you know, end of the year, years later, and be like, oh yeah, the 4th week of March was crazy fun. I'm so glad I had my fresh thoughts to document that. I always regretted not keeping a journal, and I still don't, but I just always thought it'd be cool to have like this book that I wrote in every day that I just talked about what I did that day. And maybe I should do that. I keep saying I want to. I would love to like look back and be like, what was I doing June 16th of 2016, you know? But this is at least a weekly catalog of what I was doing, you know, across work and social and pop culture and all that stuff. So hopefully the content stays consistent. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow the podcast, check out my merch store, use my EARTH2 reference code if you want to buy land. Follow me on TikTok, check out my stuff when it comes out, listen to game history, or don't, you know, whatever you want to do. I'm not here to force you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.